Hi, I'm Julie, keeper of my home. Welcome back. Now on Thursday, you saw how I organized my refrigerator. Well, today I want to take some of those leftovers that are still in there. Not all of them are in there, but there's still a lot of leftovers in there. And I want to take those and use them up by making a quiche. Now I've told you before that a quiche is really great to use up extra eggs. It's great to use up extra leftovers, and I have a lot of leftovers. So we're going to make a couple different kinds of quiche in a different kind of way so that we will have them to eat on demand. So let's get started. So we're going to start with a crust, and I have actually added all of my ingredients in here. So I'm just going to get the water put in, mix this all up really well, and then get the water put in. If you'd like my pie crust recipe, you can go to my Facebook page under the same name as my channel, Julie, Keeper of My Home, and I will make sure I have my pie crust recipe there for you. So let's just add a little bit of water. This is cold, cold water. I always like to do my pie crust by hand because I can feel whether or not I have enough water or too much water. So I have the pie crust in the refrigerator. I'm going to let that sit in there for a little bit. While I was in the refrigerator, I did pull a few things out. We have some Swiss cheese. We have some mozzarella cheese. This is shredded. And we have, let's see what we have in here. A couple different kinds of meat. We have some chicken and we have some steak. So these are just stuff that I grabbed out of the refrigerator real quick that I thought might go well in a quiche. This one is some fried potatoes and some bacon. And then we also have some spinach. Some fresh spinach. Still pretty good, but I do want to use that up. So what we're going to do, I have an idea how I'm going to make the quiche. I know you're thinking that's probably a mixture of some weird ingredients, but it's gonna work, I promise you, because that's the greatest thing about quiche. You can literally use all of your leftovers, pick and choose, it's whatever you like. Okay, I have 5 fresh eggs here. I am going to crack those into a bowl. Now I like to use, stuck my finger in that yolk, I like to use farm fresh eggs. We do have chickens here. All right, I'm going to scramble these up. And I'm going to add a cup of milk. Now I like to add 1 cup of milk or cream to 5 eggs every time. That's my measurement. That's how I remember. I want to just get down here and look at this, make sure it's exact. Okay, now you can use, like I said, cream if you want to. This is whole milk. I do like, you can do a mix too. I've done that as well. I do like using whole milk in my baking just because it gives it a richer flavor. You can use 2%, 1% skim milk, whichever kind you like. It's all gonna work. But like I said, you're gonna get a more full flavor and a thicker quiche if you use whole milk or cream. Okay, so that's all in there. Now I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator. Let's get this out. I'm going to put this in the sink. I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator and keep cool, and then we'll slice up our ingredients. For these quiche, we're going to make them mini size. So I am going to chop my stuff up small enough to fit into the little mini size quiche. Now these are great to have as, like I said, a grab and go, because you can throw them in the freezer and just take them out when you want them. So you can make a lot. You can have them on hand when you're in a rush or you've got a busy morning, and you've got to take your lunch, your breakfast to work, or eat it on the way. This will work. All right, this is about all I'm going to do of this because I'm going to make 2 different kinds, I think, and I don't want to cut too much up. So we'll save this for something else. And let's work on the potatoes. Now these potatoes, I know you're thinking this is crazy to put potatoes in a quiche, but trust me, this is going to work because that's the thing. That's the beauty of quiche. You can put anything in it, whatever you like. It's my clean my refrigerator out dish. I like to make it whenever I clean the fridge, or if I know it's time to clean the fridge, there's so many leftovers and I can't see, getting them all eaten up in a fair amount of time, I will make a quiche. And I love a quiche. This was breakfast, our Saturday breakfast. So I'm just chopping this up. And like I said, it's just bacon and some potatoes. Don't need a lot, just want to, get a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the potatoes and the steak. I'll do a steak and potato quiche, and I'm going to do chicken and spinach. I think that's going to be good. So for the chicken and spinach, I'm going to use the mozzarella. And for the steak and potato, I'm going to use the Swiss. So I think these will be really good. Let's chop up a little bit more of these bacon pieces. Get those chopped up smaller. Okay. Now, I didn't use all of these, but I am going to put these all in here, and I can just grab them out as I make the quiche. What doesn't get used can be fried up in a hash or, in a vegetable stir fry. It can be used up. Okay, so chicken. This is just a boneless, skinless chicken breast we had for dinner one night, and we can just cut this. I love this because it's been seasoned, so you're going to get a little of that seasoning taste too. Not sure what my husband seasoned this one with particular, but it was good. I can actually smell it. I've been using these on my salads, actually. We had, whenever we cook boneless chicken, I always fix more than what we're eating for dinner that night because I use it in my salads. Let's get a little bit more. I'm not sure how many of these little minis that my crust is going to make, so I may have too many, not enough, I'm not sure. So we'll just chop this up and see where it goes. I put all of my chicken in here, so let's move on to the steak. Now this steak there's some fat in here, so I'm going to cut around it and get some meat. We hold on to the fat of this because our son's dog likes to come and visit, and so we feed him our scraps. He's a very spoiled dog. We just love him. Okay, this is going to go into my potato mixture because it's steak and potato. I'm going to finish cutting these up, and then we'll come back and finish the rest. All right, I pulled my crust from the refrigerator and rolled it out. And I have a little dish here, and I'm going to put it on my crust. And I'm just going to cut around it with a butter knife. This is going to give me an approximate size of what I want to use, piece of crust that I want to use in my quiche for the bottom of my quiche in that size muffin tin, because like I said, that's a jumbo size muffin tin. So I'm going to need a crust that's bigger than your typical muffin tin. If you want to use, regular size muffin tin, that's fine. Whatever works for you. You can do minis too. Mini quiche would be really good. These all freeze really well too. I do have some of these already started, but we are going to, let me roll this out a little bit extra. I do have some of these already started. I did do a double recipe for the pie crust. Just the plain recipe that I'm going to give you is enough for one crust. So it would just be like either your bottom crust or your top crust. Okay, you can see here I have our mozzarella, and I did add a little bit of flour to this just because it keeps it from clumping up. And the same with the Swiss. I chopped that up finely and added a little bit of flour to keep it separated and keep it from clumping. This is our steak and potatoes, this is our chicken, and this is our spinach. So let's get the egg poured in. We're just going to do a little bit. Now, in a regular quiche, you're going to blind bake your crust. And when you do a mini quiche, that's something you don't have to do. I'm not going to fill these up too much because I am going to add some ingredients in. I wasn't sure how far that would go, so now I know. One bit of that does about 6. So I'm going to put in a little bit of spinach. These are going to be our chicken ones. It's chicken and spinach. Now this will all sink to the bottom as it cooks, and I am putting the spinach in first. I'm going to put the chicken on top of it just to make sure that that goes down in to the bottom really well. I'm going to use all of this up. You can add salt and pepper to this as well, or any other seasonings that you would like. All guaranteed to be delicious. I can promise you that. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of chicken in each one. Now, putting it in this way too, you have more control over how much goes into each one, so you're not skimping on one versus the other. If I were to add it all into the bowl with the egg mixture, sometimes you tend to get more in one than the other. So we're going to make this even here, as even as we can. I'm going to be adding the cheese as well, and we're going to do mozzarella in this one. All right, that is all of the chicken. Now we're going to add some mozzarella to each one. Just going to sprinkle that on the top. Moving right along to the steak and cheese, I did mix up some more filling. We're going to fill these cups up just like we did the first ones. Now let's add our ingredients. Now we have potatoes, steak, and we also have some bacon. So I want to try to get a little bit of all of that in here. So I'm going to kind of dig to the bottom to get it. I'll make sure I get all of those. Here's some bacon. This is going to be a tasty one, I think. This will be the one that my husband likes. So we have that put in there. So let's get the cheese in. We have the steak and cheese, and we have the chicken and spinach. So I'm gonna go get these in the oven, and I'll bring you back when they're all done.
And I just pulled them from the oven, put them on a cooling rack, and this is what they look like. They look delicious. I cannot wait to dive in. We have a couple taste testers here tonight. One of them's on the phone FaceTiming her cousins, and the other one is going to be the first one to try them out. Look at that golden crust. Oh my gosh, these smell amazing. I wish you could smell them. Okay, Riley's going to give it a try. I have to tell you, she loves quiche. This is her favorite, and she was very pleased that we were having this for dinner tonight.
Well, the quiche was a hit, and really, there's not a lot left. It made a dozen, and this is what's left. They really are very delicious. I think overall, the steak and cheese was the definite first place winner. I had the chicken and spinach, and I thought it was delicious. All in all, anytime you have leftovers, think about making a quiche, because it really is a very easy, quick dish to make for dinner. You can add whatever you want with it. Tonight we had baked potato and bacon. My husband had some corn with his. You can just kind of throw in whatever you like to have. The kids enjoyed it, and they really like that it's a pick-me-up. You can just pick it up, and I actually sent a couple home with the girls for breakfast in the morning. It's great. Throw it in the fridge, take it out in the morning, heat it up really quick. It's a grab and go breakfast. These can also be frozen. You can throw them in your refrigerator, in your freezer, and I would just wrap them in plastic and then put them in a Ziploc or other freezer container and just put them in your freezer. You will use them up in no time. They're great if you need something quick to grab for breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. And these are also really good to use at showers, whether it be a baby shower, a wedding shower, church dinner, anything like that. Tea parties, these are really great. And like I said, you can use the smaller muffin tins, the regular size, or you can go to the mini. The mini ones would be really good as well. Whatever kind you want to make, there is no rule. So throw in what you want. And like I said, it's the best way to use up your leftovers. I create 2 new videos every week on simple living, homestead grown, and all things home. And until next time.